This video is on community, and this is something that you want to build, okay? You want to build this around yourself. You want to build your community around you so that you keep your clients long enough that they actually get the benefit of what you're teaching. Also, it keeps your clients around you long enough that you get the financial. Also, it feels good. Also, it gives you the fulfillment of doing your job, okay? This builds, like community is the show. Okay, this is the whole thing. This is what keeps clients here. This is what bonds them to each other. It's what builds their power to be able to get to where they want to go. It is the show. And besides that, it just feels good to be part of a community. And some of you are probably a little bit rebellious, and you're like, I don't know if I want to be part of a community. The right community, you do. Okay, if it's the right community, you want to be a part of it, right? Like I am super rebellious against the status quo. Just I tend to have to really watch. Not just rebelling against something just for the sake of rebelling. I have to be like, okay, what am I doing here? So I get around a bunch of rebels that are like, let's rebel, you know? And I want to be a part of that community because it's fun, man. I feel like I belong there. I feel like I'm comfortable with these people. These people get me because I get them, because we get each other, okay? That feels good. All right, you want to build that around you. Okay, you want your clients to be built into that. You want to build them into your community. All right, and that starts with you. So we got to get clear on a few things around relationships and what this community thing really means. Because think of a time when you went to somebody's house, you went to a classroom when you were in school. You were around somebody that you just never really felt welcome. Okay, and that's just the start. That's before we even talk about belonging. Okay, you just didn't feel welcome. Okay, what was that like? Now remember that story. Pull it up. Okay, walking into that classroom, walking into someone's home. I have there's this one piece of my family that when we go to this person's house, it was I don't really know what to do here. I don't know how to talk with these people. I don't know what, I don't know why I keep getting in trouble, but I keep doing things that are wrong in their house, that are right in our house. I just don't know where really I belong. And every time I turn around, it's like they're mad at me about something, and I didn't really know. I never really felt welcome. Didn't feel like I belong. It's just not a very good feeling, right? All right, so you don't want people around you to feel like that, do you? Okay? Unless they really suck, then it's get out of the community, right? So the people that are around you that you care about, you want to build this sense of belonging. They belong with you, right? It's not manipulative. It's you care for them enough to make sure that they know that they belong with you, okay? Because you care about them, and you're the right choice. Do you get what I'm saying? You're the right community for them. Okay? You want to build this community. A sense of belonging and this welcoming feeling of I want you around me. That feels nice. Connection matters, okay? You put, what's the greatest, we think we take freedom away from people, we shove them in a jail cell, right, as punishment, all right? What's the punishment beyond that? We shove them in a hole with no human interaction. Weird, huh? People go crazy in that hole if they stay there long enough. We need that, we have to have this connection. Connection matters, okay? Proximity to power matters, okay? And so we'll go more into relationships in later segments where we really take a deep dive into this. But for right now, some things around relationships that you got to get through your head that are a little difficult to hear up front, and on the back end, you'll see what I'm talking about. But the first thing is relationships have cycles, okay? Every relationship starts with an attachment, okay? No one has attachment syndrome, okay? That's a silly thing. Most people attach extremely well, okay? They start here, and they attach extremely well, okay? And then there's bonding, and then there's separation, and then there's grief, and then it starts back over again, okay? This is the part that gets tough to hear. Every relationship ends. Even if it ends in death, every relationship ends. Someday will be the last time that you ever see me. Someday, it'll be the last day that I see a certain client. It'll be the last day that I see my significant other. The last day that, something. Okay, every relationship ends. Now that sounds very, morbid. I don't like that. Now, the reality of that is that the perspective here is that it's beautiful, because it makes you aware of how important each moment really is. Right? So if it's going to end, it makes that moment so precious. Any moment that you can grab at that person, the extra hug, the high five, whatever it is that you can get, those moments that are going to build up, are the whole show. So it makes you very aware and to be very present in the moment, to be experiencing each one of these, knowing that all relationships are going to end. Right? It also frees you from, or it begins to free you from the fear of actually getting to the bonding. Okay, because if you're going to have bonding, then you're going to have to deal with the grief. Okay. And people that don't know much about grief don't know much about bonding. And bonding is the whole show. And we'll get more into this later. But for now, I need you to know this is a cycle, okay? And you're gonna have to deal with that. It is a cycle, okay? All relationships end, and we have to do our absolute best to be present through each of those periods of the cycle, right? Because like that's the whole show. Now, you still have to set your boundaries, but this is the deal with boundaries. A lot of people in relationships, they will either, like there's basically 3 different types of people, right? There's the wall. They put up a wall. Nothing is going to penetrate that wall, but also they never get to share anything with anybody else, right? The wall stops them from being able to share what they have or who they are with the rest of the world. Okay? You don't want to set walls, really hardcore walls, and stop anybody from being able to experience you and for you to experience them, right? Now, the other error here is that you don't have that. You don't have very clear boundaries, and you just let anything and everything in and out. Okay, that's also silly. You want to have. You don't want to have a wall, but you also don't just want to say, oh, anything can come in and anything come out, because then you're going to experience bullies. You're going to experience, time vampires, energy vampires, just bloodsuckers. You're going to experience the good and the bad. You're not going to have any power over what comes in and out, okay? And you want to have that power over what comes in and out of your boundary, all right? The other thing that you're going to have, what you want to do with your boundaries is you want to have clear boundaries that you can open and shut, okay? You can open the door for the ones that you want to let in, to let experience you and for you to experience them, and you want to be able to shut that door to the ones that you don't need in your life. Do you see? Okay. We want to create doors within our boundary. But remember, connection matters, proximity to power matters, building that community matters, okay? So as we dig into more and more into this mindset stuff, relationship type stuff, you're gonna see this, but for right now, get it through your head. Community matters, and you wanna start building out your community. Wide, depth, you need them both, okay? Proximity to power matters. You need to get these people to connect with each other via you so that you can all push up and get to where you wanted to go.